should we like get started, ladies?
Yeah, let's do it. If those other ones
Okay.
show up, I'll
Amazing. So Tammy, thank you for like co-arranging this. And Tammy and I met at an event and we realized quickly that like our values were super aligned. Like she does soul food nutrition and I do like mind, body, soul healing virtual programs and Italy retreats. So we thought it'd be super fun to do a little collaboration class with her audience. And I'm an anti-diet wellness chef and intuitive healer. And so I really like to focus on meals that make you feel good physically, but also emotionally. And my background is I went to culinary school in Italy, and I also went to the Academy of Healing Nutrition in London and healed my own gut through food. And so it's a really healthy mix of the like whole ingredients, but also the flavor. So that's kind of what we're gonna experience tonight. So that being said, we can get our sheet tray lined with parchment paper. This is gonna be for our squash. And we'll get that seasoned and in the oven first because that takes the longest. And I said delicata squash. I couldn't find one. They're like, yeah, you can either, they're like, I missed like the 1 month season window that they're in. So I got these like pre-cut butternut squash because I hate cutting. I'm sorry. I don't like cutting. Yeah, you got yours too. Butternut squash. My sister's kids are always like, we don't say hate. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I do. Okay. So just throw that onto your sheet tray, just as is. If there's any like huge chunks, you can cut those, but I just literally just dump this right on. Especially when you have kids at home, this makes for a very easy weeknight dump onto the tray. And leftovers for this are super good, like throughout the week on top of salads or in grain bowls, or literally just like eating on its own. I freaking love roasted butternut squash. It's like candy. Okay. So I just cut some of the bigger chunks from the package like in half and just have it on my sheet tray like this. And then you can season this literally however you want. I like to do olive oil, about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then salt and pepper always. And for the other seasoning, again, like you can do like Italian, oregano, curry powder, but my like staple with squash is usually just garlic powder and dried rosemary. It just tastes yummy, so that's what I do. Which I forgot to lay out. Okay. And I just sprinkle it evenly over the top. You could measure like a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, but you know, this part is not a science. We're not making cookies, which I do have in my background that you can see. Because, balance. Okay, and then just give it a shake. And I like to put it on my bottom rack in the oven so that the bottom gets nice and crispy. Because when butternut squash gets crispy in the oven, it gets like the natural sugars get super caramelized and charred, and it's yummy. Colleen, are you taking notes?
Totally am, because I don't have the squash tonight, so that's what I'm doing.
You're amazing. There's also the recipe that is now working. Of course, like GoDaddy like shut down an hour before the class, but it's up and running too. So
okay,
the recipe is emailed to you as well. Okay, cool. Another good substitute for this is a sweet potato too, and those last longer in your well, actually both squash and sweet potato last pretty long in your pantry. So it's a nice like thing to have on hand that won't go bad, that you can use like as a quick last night weeknight pull. Okay. And then the next thing that in terms of timing, I didn't set a timer. I never do. But if you wanted to, it would be about 20 minutes is kind of how we'll keep them in just to start, and then we'll flip them see where they're at. Every oven is different, every squash is different. So you guys look like you're having fun. I wish I had a sous chef. You're on mute, Tammy.
So we just got a little heavy spot about right there of some
Oh,
paprika.
yeah. Just take a spatula,
Yeah.
or have your sous chef take her hands and just like
No.
Oh, you got the spatula. Nice. Hi,
Yes.
Michelle.
No.
So her and Chris thought it was 7, and I was like, well, 7 Eastern. So
So did I. That's
Oh.
no.
Sorry, I'm in Boston, so I'm on East Coast time.
Because there's my head. I'm not even up there.
Nice hat.
Hi guys. I don't know. My head's not up here. I got my hat on. Hi
Love
there. I'm just watching because I didn't get the ingredients, but I love the ingredients, so I'm hoping to learn.
Oh, yes.
I might ask a lot of questions. Let me.
I was literally about to say, Michelle, if you have any questions, feel free to ask all of them. So this is a super small group. And so we just did the hardest part, which was putting the squash in the oven. So like now we have tons of time. So
I don't know where my head. I must have anyhow, my husband just got home and I was trying to get on here. Are you going to be doing these every week? Is this something like, I'm just trying, my husband just made a comment, I don't cook, but I'm trying to cook more and I loved everything in the salad. So is
yeah.
you're hoping
so
people
not like in this capacity. I have my own program that begins in January, which we do this every week. That's like it's a 4-month program and it's comprised of like virtual healing cooking classes like this, and then also a retreat in Southern Italy. So yeah, I can drop I'll drop 2 links just right now so you guys have them. One is for the program itself, which you could apply to, and then the other one would be for a call link if you want to schedule a call with me, just to like chat about it to see if it's a good fit. So I just dropped those in the chat, Michelle, that you can check out.
Look at just my head there. I'm like the guy that looks over the fence where you can only see his eyes.
Yeah, you look like
else?
Where's Waldo a little bit.
Who else is on here? Did I see? I saw Tammy, but
It's
anybody else?
Colleen and Tammy and Hannah.
Oh, Colleen.
and
hi.
Aria, is it?
Aria, yeah.
Yes. So we just put the squash in the oven, Michelle, just to catch you up.
Okay.
We chopped it, we seasoned it with olive oil, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and oregano and rosemary. And now we're going to put our grain on the stove. So for grain, literally any grain, quinoa, farro, barley, brown rice, anything you have. And I kind of like to do 1 cup of grain to 2.5 cups of liquid. And I like to use chicken broth for this just because it's flavorful. But you could also use vegetable broth. I'm out of cup measures because I was baking today, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay. And you add both the grain and the liquid together. And basically you want to bring it to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, you want to reduce it to a simmer. And it's pretty like, basically what you just want to do is just cook it until the liquid has been absorbed and the grain is tender. So there's no like exact timer for this. It just is like until the liquid is absorbed. Okay. Tammy, what grain did you guys get?
We were looking for barley, and then we were getting down to the wire, and so we cheated and we bought.
That's perfect. That's literally perfect.
Okay.
I cheated too. I got farro.
Yeah, I could not find, well, again, I haven't been to that grocery store and shopped for ingredients like this in a really long time. So yeah, we couldn't find barley
Yeah.
in time. So we're like, you know what,
Yeah.
just grab this and we'll go. So
Totally. And like when it comes to cooking, like I'm such a proponent of like infusing joy into it. And so it's like whatever brings you joy in the kitchen, whether it's like ready brown rice or exactly. Like I think that's amazing. I think that's absolutely amazing. And like, you know, people think that, you know, in order to cook, it has to be like pristine and perfect, but it's like, no, it's like, it's the opposite. It just has to be doable and like feasible and make you feel good. So yay. Yay to that. Especially when it tastes good too. Like as long as it doesn't compromise flavor. Like people ask me sometimes like, oh, do you like hate brownie mix, for instance? And I'm like, no, I love brownie mix. It's yummy. Like boxed brownies. I think are kind of better than homemade. So yeah, a tangent. So yes, put your grain on the stove and wait for it to come to a boil, or put it in the microwave, whichever one you're doing tonight. And so those are literally the only two things that we're cooking tonight. And then the next thing that we will be doing is just making a sauce, a lemon basil pesto. And this is just like, oh, I just think it tastes so yummy and makes literally anything taste good. Like you could eat vegetables the entire week with a side of this sauce and you would be set. So that's why I like this sauce. So you just want to get out a food processor or blender. Michelle, any questions so far?
Yes. Can I make that in my Vitamix?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have one of those food processors. Well, I have a really tiny one, but I don't have that size.
The only thing that you might sometimes run into is if there's not enough stuff at the bottom and the blade has a hard time catching. That's the only thing, but it should be, for the amount of stuff that we're putting in, it should be okay.
So that's the sauce. Well, maybe Tammy, you could just make that for me weekly and drop it off.
Yeah, Tammy, you got that, right?
Yeah, she's not answering.
Yeah, she's pretending she doesn't know that she's on mute.
I am on mute, but I was just doing things, so I was not to disrupt.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So for the pesto, like traditional pesto is made with basil, pine nuts, garlic, Parmesan cheese, and olive oil. Pesto Genovese is what it's called. And that is a completely, totally fine pesto. But I get bored easily. So I like to kind of like mix it up. So for this pesto, we're using walnuts instead of pine nuts because they're cheaper and they taste the same in this. And we're adding in lemon juice for like a nice bright freshness and omitting the cheese because it doesn't really like need it in this, and also adding in a little bit of honey, which kind of balances the acid from the lemon and then the bitterness from the olive oil. So with that being said, you want to add in your garlic. So if you're like a garlic girly and you love garlic, add 2 cloves. If you're like medium about it, add 1 clove. And I just like to take the flat side of my knife and smash the garlic clove just like that, and that just like loosens the peel off the clove, and you just throw this whole thing in. And also if you like, again, like weeknight pinch, if you wanted to get store-bought pesto, like that would be totally fine. You could squeeze in some fresh lemon juice into it for like a little quick shortcut. Okay, so a clove of garlic, and then you want to add a 1/4 cup of nuts or about a handful. And other nuts that would work really well in this would be like cashews or pistachios, pine nuts, of course. And those would be, or pecans. Almonds get a little chunky. They don't blend quite as well. So yeah, about a 1/4 cup of nuts. Oh,
Hi.
oh my goodness.
Hey, we're just getting over RSV.
Oh, my friend's 3-year-old has that. They were in the ER today.
Yeah, we are on week 4. Well, she's been sick for 6 weeks, but we're on week 4, and they finally gave her antibiotics yesterday, and she's starting to finally come back alive. So,
Oh, poor baby. I'm glad she's feeling better.
Hi.
How old is she?
She's gonna be 5 months.
Oh, such a fun age.
Oh,
I love it. Oh.
Are you gonna learn how to cook?
Do you guys all live in Tammy's like area?
No, Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. What about you, Michelle?
I'm right in the Madison area, probably maybe 20, 30 minutes away from Tammy.
Okay, cool. Very
Remind
cool.
me,
And you all
Michelle, had a memory pop up when we got coffee together yesterday. I was like, oh, we should probably do that again.
Yeah. Aria, you don't look too thrilled about doing this.
Well, I am. She's making me grab all the stuff.
Oh, I see.
She's putting you to work.
That's part of being a helper.
Yeah.
Aria.
Okay. The next thing, Aria, that we're gonna do is juice a lemon. So get ready. So you just cut it in half.
Okay.
And again, this is playing with pesto. This isn't like an essential. If you don't have a lemon, you can still make this pesto. It'll still be yummy, but the lemon just adds a nice vibrancy. So just juice the entire lemon right in here.
Tammy, do you have a food processor like that?
I do. I have both. I have a Vitamix and a food processor, which I, for some reason, got my Vitamix out, but I do love my food processor. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
I used it to make those protein balls yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, because I grind up the oats, and then on one of the recipes I used Cheerios, and so I kind of pulsed them out a little bit.
Okay.
The chocolate chips and that kind of stuff, just to make them a little smaller.
My lemon just squirted me in the face. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this. Is a Cuisinart 9-cup food processor, Michelle, and I love it. It just blends sauces so well.
Mm-hmm. So did you say earlier that the walnuts taste just like the pine nuts? Because I found out I'm allergic to pine nuts a couple years back.
Yeah, and so what the walnuts do in this is add like a thicker consistency to the pesto. It kind of emulsifies it, which is what the pine nuts do as well. And I think they taste the same. They serve the same purpose in this dish. So yeah, walnuts, cashews, or pistachios, perfect in this.
Okay.
Instead of pine nuts. Okay, and then the next ingredient, this is my favorite, is fresh basil. And you want to add about a cup of fresh basil right into the food processor. And I just, again, eyeball this like with my hands and kind of squish it into what a cup would be and put that in. I've also done this before with fresh parsley. That's also perfect in this. If like you have any of that left over from Thanksgiving or anything like that, and you are trying to figure out how to move it, this is you can do this exact recipe with parsley, fresh parsley. Okay, so basil, garlic, nuts, lemon juice, and then we want to add a big pinch of salt and pepper. And then I like to add about a teaspoon to 2 teaspoons of honey. And this just helps to, like I said, balance out the acid from the lemon and also the the bitterness from the olive oil.
Right. I don't know that I've ever made my own homemade pesto. I've always bought it. Can you tell the difference? Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you make salsa versus buying it. It's so different.
It's
Yeah.
so fresh and vibrant and like so easy.
Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah,
try it.
it's so good. And then add about a quarter of a cup of olive oil. And I just start with that, but then I blend it and kind of see where we're at with the consistency.
How do you know just doing that with your hand? You've just been doing this for so long. I mean, you just
It's
you know, go
I have
around.
been doing it a long time, and
Yeah.
it's also like this part is not an exact science. Like I'm
Okay.
not measuring because like I'm gonna blend it right now, and then I'm gonna look at the texture.
I don't think it matters. Have a good laugh.
And so the texture now
Oh,
looks like
yeah.
this, and it's not like super smooth and it's not super pourable. So that's like I'm gonna add a little bit more olive oil now. And if I had added like too much olive oil, then it just would have been like more saucy, which totally would have been fine. So that's why like I just like eyeballed it, because like really there's no worst case scenario here. Like pesto can take a lot of olive oil. It's like it's an olive oil based sauce. And so if you look at it now, it's a bit more saucy.
Nice.
But I care less about how it looks and more about how it tastes. So I always just put my finger in and give it a taste test just to make sure that the salt, pepper, and honey are kind of balanced. I think mine could use just a pinch more of honey, just because I tasted a pow of the lemon, and like a pinch more of salt and pepper. And that's why you just always want to taste as you go, just to make sure. And it also allows you, Michelle, to kind of be as fluid with your ingredients as I am, just as long as you taste as you go. Okay. And now this should be good. You can see like how quick that was and how easy this was. And this would be so good like for Thanksgiving. Like I'm planning on making some type of sauce like this and tossing it with roasted Brussels sprouts as like a side for Thanksgiving. I think that'll be yummy.
I gotta go help my husband find tickets. I'll be right back.
Okay. Tammy, how's yours?
Really good. Ari likes it too.
You do?
Yeah.
It's fresh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
So
fresh.
good.
Super easy. And like I like you can make a lot of this and just like keep it in your fridge or even in your freezer. Like it doesn't go bad quickly at all because it's olive oil based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh dear.
Elby said Brussels sprouts because I just volunteered to bring roasted Brussels sprouts to Thanksgiving. So
Oh my gosh, yes. So roast your Brussels sprouts, make this and then just toss it in that. And like you could, if you want to like go up and above and beyond, you could garnish it with some Parmesan cheese and some
that's
nuts, right?
Yes.
Just to make it like decadent.
Mhm.
Yeah, but still healthy. Okay, and so now let's give our squash a little check. Yeah, so mine are still quite not done, for lack of a better word. We still need a bit more time.
see the hand again? Guess what? That's all good, man.
Oh.
Did you burn yourself?
Aria, what grade are you in?
Third.
Third. Nice. 9.
Just turned 9 in October.
Just turned 9. Oh, happy birthday.
Yes.
Amazing. Tammy, how'd your squash look?
Pretty good. We're getting there.
It smells.
Okay. It sounds
I put
good.
it in the microwave to like help peel it, so I think that helped the process.
Perfect. Does it still need a bit more time?
Maybe a little, but
Okay, not too much. Okay, perfect. And migraine's actually almost done. This is what it's looking like in the pot. It still has like just a little bit of liquid. You can see like right there. So I'm just gonna keep cooking it until that liquid's gone.
It is unsteady.
What grain did you use in there? I missed that.
I am using Trader Joe's farro.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I like all grains. They're so like healing for you. So any grain would be good here. Yeah. Oh my God, Colleen, your baby's so cute. Okay, cool. And then literally that's all of the like cooking portion. And so from here it's just like assembling. And so how we want to assemble this is starting with the arugula as a base.
Okay.
And I like arugula, but like you could use spinach or lettuce, like any type that you like. And so just put your arugula on a plate. I just made a huge mess. And this is like, this is really fun because like right now we're prepping a lot of different components of the dish, but like you'll be able to use this throughout your entire week and just have everything already done. Like you already have your lettuce, you'll have your squash cooked, your grain cooked, and your sauce. And so it's like, you're good. And so on your lettuce, you want to add a little bit of goat cheese and avocado. I'm just grabbing mine. And if you're making this for a lot of people, you can like prep this in a big salad bowl too. Or you could just make an individual serving. And so for the avocado, you can just put about like a quarter in, just kind of slicing it into little cubes right into your lettuce. And then I like to add a little bit of goat cheese because it's like seasonal and tastes really yummy. So I just do a little sprinkling right over the top.
Tammy, what did you use? Did you use arugula too, or spinach or something? I don't like arugula. I think it's too bitter for me.
we have a spinach and spring mix we bought.
Yeah.
And we got feta because I can't do goat cheese.
Come on, man.
Yeah, feta is yummy on this too. Yeah.
I want to love goat cheese, but it does not love me.
Mm,
That is good.
I hear you.
I'm not my normal fun self because I did not get my Taylor Swift tickets and I sat and I sat. It was the most frustrating.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know, I am too.
How you feel about that?
Where
Tell
was the
us.
concert?
Thanks.
Hi, baby. Hi.
Where was the concert at?
Well, I put in for the 2 in Chicago and 1 in Minnesota, and I got the pre for Minnesota. And every time I get 6 tickets in my cart, I would go to try to process. And you would literally, it was the craziest thing. They would literally leave your cart. Like normally when you put something in your cart, it doesn't leave, right? Literally leaving. And then you could watch on the whole stadium as tickets just started. Like there'd be like 6 open dots and they just disappear. It was crazy.
Oh
That would be a
man.
good concert.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
digging her new album.
Yeah.
The first time
So
I listened,
good.
I was like, oh, I don't know that I like it. Now I can't listen to it. I have to listen. I listen to it at least twice a day.
Yeah. I had
Yeah,
Ari
totally.
listening to the car and it was the Snow on the Beach. I'm like, she maybe swears in this. Just pretend that you didn't hear that. Like, it's a really pretty song, but
Oh, I heard it.
she heard it.
Yeah, and I heard it today too, and I hadn't noticed it before, and I had to take my screen down and look at the lyrics. I'm like, well, Tay, that's not really appropriate for you young audience.
There's a couple of little F-bombs
Yeah.
in the songs, but
Yeah. Ari,
I
are you the
mature
oldest?
enough to handle it?
Am I?
Yeah, am I?
Yeah. You
We
seem
just, Aria,
like
we
it.
just hear it, right? We don't say it. That's what my parents used to tell me. If you hear it, that's okay, but you don't say it.
Good.
So you're
Good rule of thumb.
So you're
Yeah.
much older.
Totally. Okay, so I just turned my grain off. The liquid has officially been absorbed. And so I just gave I put a pinch of salt and pepper right into the grain just to season all the layers. And then I actually like to add like 2 tablespoons of the sauce itself right into the grain, just again to like season all of the layers of this.
Some of that in there.
So I'm just adding
Just a little.
like 2 tablespoons right into the grain and stirring that around.
So the recipe that you sent us, is that like for 4 servings?
Yes.
Okay.
And it smells, oh, it smells so good.
I like that.
Smells like the fresh basil pesto vibe. And then just take a nice spoonful of the grain that has the pesto mixed into it and just put it right on top of your salad.
Your salad? Yep. It's on there.
And then the final thing that we're going to add on top of the salad is just the roasted squash. So you can grab that out of your oven if it's done.
Where are we going to put this sauce? Just
So everything in this recipe would be considered vegan, would it? The goat cheese would.
It would, except for the goat cheese. Yeah.
Goat cheese. Okay. So I have a friend coming and I think she'd like this. And then if you wanted to, you could add maybe chicken or steak to it if you wanted to.
Totally. Yes.
Okay.
Any
I
type of other protein, chickpeas or chicken or shrimp, would be super yummy in this.
So this may be a silly question, but the chickpeas, like I found those in a can.
Yeah.
So rinse them and cook them that way, or how do you?
Yeah. So I like to rinse them, and then put them onto a sheet tray, just like we did with the squash, and just take a paper towel and kind of pat them dry. And then I like to season it with olive oil, salt, pepper, and then I like to use smoked paprika and curry powder.
Okay.
on the chickpeas just because of the color and the flavor, and then roast them for like 20 to 25 minutes.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
And then so after you put the squash on, just take a nice drizzle of your pesto and like drizzle it over the salad.
That looks so good.
And it's like a beautiful, healing, warming, yummy, healthy meal. And this is also like, this is perfect for any holiday gathering, like this, like all together, or even like all the parts individually. So like you could do the farro, you could even like mix the squash with the farro and like the sauce and goat cheese. Or you could do like the salad with farro, avocado sauce, and goat cheese. Really the sauce is the main show, so like just make sure you have the sauce. But like super adaptable and versatile and really healthy for any like gathering that you're going to. So that was kind of like the inspiration off of this meal.
So I have a question that might, there's never a dumb question. So on the
No.
recipe, it says one I don't even know how to
Delicata squash.
How is that different than, because I'm used to a butternut squash. I don't know.
Yeah, so butternut squash is completely perfect for this recipe. The delicata squash, they kind of look like this. This is the shape of them. It's like a oval cylinder thing. And they're really easy to cut, which is why I like them, and you can keep the skin on. But I went to the grocery store and they didn't have them today. So I think I might have missed like the peak season for them. And so I personally just got a butternut squash for tonight, and that's totally fine. But yeah, the delicata squash are literally a bit more delicate, and sometimes sweeter when they're in season, but the butternut squash is totally fine as well. Good question, Michelle. Any other questions, Colleen? Or I think your baby might be going to sleep, so
Fine. I'm excited to try it. It looks really refreshing.
Yeah.
You're just hanging out.
I mean, a lot of times I'm like, oh, I love all of these foods. My husband doesn't, but I just told him when he laughed, I said, you know what? I'm tired of making just foods you like. If you don't like it, you can figure it out on your own. And he just laughed at me and left to go to the Badger game. But the reason I loved it is we've been on what, 43 minutes, and you have the meals done, and probably could be done faster, but we were talking and it's so delicious.
Literally, we were like shooting the whatever and like chatting, and like it's very casual and like non-stress, and like that's the energy that I really like to embody and bring into cooking and into nourishing food, because it matters. Like the energy that you bring to the food that you put into your body matters. And so that's why I really like the work I do and the programs I lead, like because of that, you know, like it's like making sure you have that accountability for like infusing your food with joy and nourishment and health.
That was the
Yes, amazing. Well, this was so much fun, you guys. And yes, like I said, like I dropped my mastermind link in the chat and also my call link in the chat. If you guys just want to like hop on my calendar, I'd love to just chit chat. And Tammy, thank you so much for coordinating this. This was so much fun.
What do you think, Aria?
delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious, yes.
Oh, okay, Aria, are you being honest? It really is delicious.
She has loaded up like a ton of the sauce on her thing.
Oh, look
Like,
at
I need
you.
more sauce. I need more sauce.
That's what makes it yummy. Totally.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's got a very mature palate, so
She does. What a little foodie over there.
I know she
Totally.
is. Yeah,
Totally.
sushi, all the things. So
Sushi's good.
Wow. Wow.
Definitely
Amazing. Well, buon appetito, ladies.
yes,
and
thank you.
and Colleen and Michelle, when you guys are cooking this and you have any questions, like feel free to email me or anything like that. And yeah, that's all. Tammy, you have any final words or anything?
No, I would just use my food processor next time to get around. Every last little bit. I'm like,
totally. Yeah, food processor. I'm like team food processor all the way.
Yeah, we should have grabbed that.
Yeah.
It worked.
So Italy then next summer. I see on the
yeah. See you there.
Yeah, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
It's the
Thank you
spring,
so
Michelle.
much.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I hope to talk to you all soon.
Yes,
Thank
thank you.
Bye.